Okay. What kind of car wreck?
We're having a lot of like conflicts and merge conflicts and not quite sure how to make that stop. And we were thinking maybe because we didn't stagger our commits, or does
Okay.
that make a difference?
It could, yeah. So let me continue then on the path that I had started with, with Bob's merge conflicts and so what I'll do is go ahead and push up to Taylor. Your background is freaking me out. That's awesome. Okay, back on track here. So I'm Bob. So what I've done here is, as Bob, I've
You need to
renamed
share with us again.
Oh, thank you very much. What I've done here is forgotten to share, and here I go. My repo that I was working with was tags, and I've just renamed it. I just literally just went up a directory and did an NV Unix NV command of tags to tags Bob. So nothing has changed at all Git wise. Nothing is different at all. Just different repo name to keep me organized. So here I am. Now I'm going to, and actually what I've already done is invited me as Chris to Bob's repo. All right, so Bob is the team lead. Here I am as the team member. And so that step that I forgot, where you have to go invite somebody. I don't know if you saw that in, let's see if I can find that again. Yeah, so if you go in and you're in this repo as the team lead, you can go to settings and manage access and invite a collaborator, and then that person gets the email, et cetera, et cetera. You've probably already been through all that, but just for what it looks like from the inviter's point of view. So here I am, I'm invited, I've got push access, and now as me over in another window somewhere, not that window. One second while I find my way through the matrix. Here I am. So now I've gone over and cloned down a repo, as Chris Walk was here. So now I'm in this other repo, fresh, nothing's happened here at all. And I haven't pushed anything up yet as the team lead either. So let me go ahead and do that. So here's that collision, that merge collision that we resolved, and now I'm going to go push that up. Git push, it's going to go ahead and do that. And it tells me where I pushed it to, so you can see what my context is. So now it's up there. So now what can I see from where I'm at here? I don't see it here, over here as my team member. Why do I not see that here? Bob has pushed it up to, the remote. It's on GitHub, but I can't see it over here as Walk was.
Is it because you need to pull it so that you can, or fetch so that you can see the changes?
Right, exactly right. So good question. What's the difference between fetch and pull?
I honestly don't know.
Okay. So fetch, actually, so pull is a fetch and a merge, basically. So fetch is the first part of a pull, you could say another way. So you do a git fetch, and what that does is pulls everything that you would be interested in. It brings local, but it doesn't make any changes to your repo. So no merges happen. You just your tracking branches, pointers get updated. As you can see here, now I can see it. There it is. But notice that it's only on origin master right? My master is still back here somewhere. Yeah, back down here. So my repo is untouched. Only the pointers have been updated that were, you know, out of sync with the remote. So that's very handy sometimes. So what's going to happen, right? That's one question you can answer. Okay, so here's where I'm at down here. So if I track up to here and here, it looks like I can just go ahead and pull, which will, you know, the fetch will be a no-op because it's already happened, but then the merge will happen. Alternatively, I could just do a explicitly git merge origin / master, and that would accomplish the same goal, which will catch me up. So it should be a fast forward. Let's see if that's the case. So if I do a git pull, yes, indeed it is. So that's fortunate. Let's back up a little bit. Let's use a reset to try another scenario. What if I myself had already merged something and was wanting to push it up, right? So let's say I want to reset back to where I was before.
Hey, Chris, really quick right before that. So you don't necessarily have to do a straight just git merge if you wanted to. You could just do git pull, or is that?
Well, git
not a
merge
good
is both
idea?
a fetch followed by a merge. Git pull is a fetch followed by a merge.
Okay.
So you could do just the fetch, and then you could do the merge. If you do a merge, nothing will happen if you haven't done the fetch already. But a pull just packages them together. So yeah, that's all it is. So let's back up. Let's say, okay, what if we wanted to do another scenario? So first we've got to get our head back where it was. And possibly we're confused about that. I mean, we've got scroll back, fortunately, in our terminal, so that's one way to figure out where we were. Maybe you don't have that. There's another command called git reflog, which is just kind of a recording of what you've done locally, where you've moved head around to locally. So you can usually work out what's happened to your head from the git reflog. So we can see this is where it was before, this is where it is now. Let's just go back there, and what command does that? Deafening silence. Git reset -- hard. Copy paste is a way to do it. So let's do that. Okay, so check where we're at. So now we're back down where we were before. So all we've done is unfast forward at this point. We just yanked master back down to where it was before, you know, after git pulling and, you know, it moved up here. So now we just, you know, said, no, let's not do that. Let's go back where we were. So
Would git reset hard and then the head with the caret not do the same thing? Do you have to use the SHA?
well, let's think about that. Let's go back to, let's do our git pull again. That's an excellent question. So here's where head is after the git pull, right? It just jumped up from here up to here. So what changes are on that branch, basically? What commits have happened if we trace up here? Well, there was a merge, right? So that's there, and then there was, you know, this merge here. So, and then that was pushed up by somebody and got here. So what will happen if we say head caret? What is the commit before this commit?
Would it be before the merge so you don't actually end up seeing those changes, or?
Well, you just follow back down, right, to here. And there's actually, it it could technically be either one of these because both of them are the change before the commit. But the caret syntax will choose the first change before the commit if it has two choices. There's a whole different sort of discussion about what that syntax, how that syntax works. But for our purposes, yeah, this is going to be head caret because that literally is what that commit points to. That's its parent or one of its parents. So it's going to point to one of its parents. Neither one of them is going to be down here back where it was before, right? So fast forward can forward you, an arbitrary number of commits forward. So you can't depend on head caret to get you back to what was before, your git pull. You have to know the graph. You have to understand where you're at in the graph and what you're telling Git to do.
Got it. Thank you.
Sure. So where are we? So yeah, let's do that again. So we'll go back to reset -hard. So that yanks all of our trees back down to this location. So that after that, a git status should show either clean or only untracked commits or untracked changes. So there we are. Let's try something else. Let's suppose that, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and make one of these changes before I try anything with before I interact with anybody remotely. So let's say, what's one that hasn't been done yet? Like more config, maybe. Let's merge that in. So git merge, and we know we're going to get complaints because we don't have a local more config branch. So I'm just going to take the whole thing and say that. Now you don't even have to use a branch name, of course, because it all resolves to a commit. So you could just copy paste the commit itself, and it'll go ahead. That's what Git looks for, is the commit SHA ultimately. Okay, great, it worked. Ooh, so let's Git push. Actually, let's take a look at where we're at. So, yep. No, that's not where I'm at. Where am I at? I'm right here. So that ended up being a fast forward because nobody had done anything else between me and that change. So great, let's Git push. What happens? What's going to happen now? Any volunteers? Wild theories? Let's just do it. Okay. Does that look familiar to anybody, that message? So it's what we were talking about before, where it says, no, this is not a fast forward that you're asking me for now. So here's hints, which is exactly what's going on, actually. So the tip of your current branch, what's our current branch? Master. So master is behind its remote counterpart. So what's the remote counterpart? Remote counterpart is going to be origin/master, because that's what master is tracking. So it basically is saying that things have diverged. So it says you have to Git pull first. So bring those changes local and figure it out, and then try another push, is what it's saying. So let's look at what we've got. So here we are down here, and here's our commit. And the key is now that here's where we want to go. We want to get up on this master where origin's at, but they've diverged. So if you see you here and your destination over here with a common ancestor, that means that you've got to do some reconciling. And the way you do that is you always pull in the remote locally, do the reconciling, merging or whatever, and then try again. So it's like it says, you haven't done a git pull yet, basically. Whoops. Yeah. Okay, there it is. So git pull before pushing again. That's the key. So let's do that. We could do a git fetch first. Let's just try the git pull. If it all goes south, we can do a git merge -- abort, and we'll be back to trying again if we want. Okay, so something happened. Let's look at the status. Okay. Some stuff worked. This looks like it's ready to go. It's ready to be committed, but not views.py. Okay, so let's see what's going on with views.py. And there's the problem line. So our current change is up the top, and then the one that is, this is the one that's happened up, you know, somebody else on your team, maybe several somebody else's have done this thing and gotten up ahead of you. So now you've got to figure out what the interleaving of these changes should look like. So we see this thing hasn't happened yet for you, but it has happened for them. We've got the more config change. So this is kind of our little special thing right here, right? So we've got to figure out how that might look in the context of everybody else's changes here. So they've done a lot of stuff for, you know, that we haven't done yet. But the basic thing that seems to have happened is that, oops, add UI. All right, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4 things inside of these parens. Okay, so there's some substitution that's happening. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's only 3 substitutions down here and 4 up here. So the 4th one looks like it's between the H1s right here. All right, there's a hard-coded stuff here, but there's a %s up here, which we've done. This is our change, right? So I want to say that we should go ahead and make that thing go in there. Now we've got 4 substitutions happening. And now if we go down to the end, we could probably take these 4 things, except that we've also got to make sure we switch the form HTML around with the tags HTML. So before I copy paste that, I'm just going to go ahead and whoops. I'm going to go ahead. Oops. Please ignore the man behind the curtain. Okay. Tags HTML. So let's put this at the end. Let's delete the other one here. Let's copy the whole thing like this. Hopefully this will work, and paste it in right here. And then get rid of it and get rid of everything else. I hate when it jumps like that. Okay, so let's just do it like this. Okay, so hopefully, save. That might have done the right thing. No guarantees I'm going to make it all, but I would Control-C and rerun my web server. And actually, I'm in the wrong directory now. Let me get back into my renamed directory, or actually my newly cloned directory. Now I'm going to have trouble here because it's newly cloned, so I'm going to cheat and copy copy my whole VEENV. Actually, that's not going to work. I'm going to have to do it from scratch. So let's bypass that so I won't waste your time. But I basically would rerun my test and make sure that it's going to be good. And let's pretend that's all happened. So go back to our Git context here. You can do a Git diff. Okay. Now I've clearly forgotten to take out my my change markers, so I've got to do that. Okay, I kind of like that better. Let's see how that looks. So that's another practice, is to always git diff before you add, and then do another one before you commit. Okay, it's probably good. Yeah. So git add. Actually, git status, just to make sure. Yeah. Status, so that will change it from red to green. So now think about where we're at. Okay, which tree is this? We've made the changes in our workspace. Now we've done a git add and caught up the index. So now this unmerged file has now had the changes. Now it joins the index, the other file that was already there, right? The static CS or style.css. So now it's all collected. So now let's go ahead and push, or not push, or git commit, and put it in the repo. I need to leave my config changes with what's already been done by the rest of my team. And yeah. Okay, so now there that is. It's on head, it's on master, but it hasn't been pushed yet. So here's where we hope, okay, I think we're ready. Hopefully nothing else has been done to origin master, right? Looks like nothing's happened, but we can double check by doing a git fetch, as I think was discussed before. So that updates the pointers to see where we're at. And we can look at it again. And fortunately, origin master is still there where it was before. It's not branched off again and diverged. So if we hurry, we can do a git push. And that works. So basically now, origin master got fast forwarded up to where we're at, and now that's been shared with the remote team, or shared with the team versus via being pushed to the remote. And now if they do git fetch or git pull, then they're going to see, origin master from here. So you're done. You've got your stuff up there now. And that now collisions are their problem for a while. So any questions at this point about all that? Does that make sense? I mean, I hope this begins to get you to the point where you can at least begin to stop thinking about purely Git and what's going on in Git, and think more about what's going on with your team. That's the kind of the takeaway that I'm hoping for. There's a lot of moving parts. It's a lot of commands right now, but I hope you've begun to see how you can use git reset to put things where you want them to be. The challenge is to know where you want them to be, but then you can use git reset to put them there and understand what you're putting at risk, I guess is one way to say it, when you do a git reset. And then also understand when you're doing git adds, git commits, git pushes, just what's going on where, what's local and what's going remote. Git pulls when you're interacting with the remote to do a Git pull. And ultimately, it all boils down to communicating with your team with Git. So that's all I have time to present to you today. Feel free to go back through stuff. Again, Slack me anytime. I'm going to put out a survey link at some point today or tomorrow. I'd love to know what you thought of class and what you found helpful and what wasn't. Definitely the class is a work in progress, and so anything you can contribute back, we'll pay it forward for the next cohort. Thank you very much for your time today. Been a real treat to be with you, and enjoy the rest of your week.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Very
Chris. Thanks a bunch.
Thank you.
All right, awesome. Well, yeah, so thanks a lot to Chris. Yeah, Git is very involved, but yeah, as you said, there's also a teamwork component there for sure. So I think we can do now is we can take lunch and then we'll come back at 1 and we'll do some more Django stuff. So be back in here at 1.